Hello, everyone. It is Mahlena Ray Johnson here with Write Your First Book with Mahlena. And we are talking about the 5 best ways to start writing now. From Write Your First Book with Mahlena, that's me. If you are a lady boss or a mom blogger who wants to become an author, then this course will help you make your dreams come true. So the first thing that we are going to emphasize is that if you want to start writing a book, then start writing now. Take out your phone, write some notes, take out a pen and paper or a pencil and a notebook and write your thoughts down, or start typing while you are watching this course. So again, start writing now if you want to write your first book. All right. Now that that is out of the way, oh yes, I'm supposed to introduce myself again. I keep forgetting because I'm with myself all day, but I, again, am Mahlena Ray Johnson. I am a 3-time author, and as of this recording, I am working on my 4th book, Love It a Luau, which is a romance novel about a refugee who suffers from PTSD and is afraid to fall in love with a single dad. I also I went to Loyola Marymount University for film production, for film school, and I went to University of Southern California for my MBA in marketing, entertainment, and entrepreneurship. So that gets my credentials out of the way, my official credentials, but my biggest credential to help you write your first book is that I want to help more creative women share their stories so other women around the world can hear them. If we can see it, we can be it. So I want to help you write your stories. I want you to be able to do it in an efficient manner. Instead of going through all the stuff that I went through with publishing my first novel on my own, I published my first novel back in 2007 called Steve the Penguin, and I created a whole company to do that. Over 10 years later, now self-publishing is a much more streamlined industry. So I want to help you get through all those bumps and mistakes and those weird things that I did so that you don't have to fall into those same pitfalls. So let us start with writing your first book. The first best way to start writing now is who? Who is your book about? Who is your main character? Whom does she interact with? What does she want? Answer all of those questions, and please get out your notebooks and do this as you're watching the video. Please answer these questions for yourself, and if you're able to when you are watching this, please leave me a comment as well. The main part of writing your book is knowing who it is about. And to give you an example of the book I'm writing now, which is my 4th book, Love It a Luau, I'll show you this. This is where I have written so many notes about my book. So I started out with my main character. Her name is Casey. She is 34 years old. She is a woman with multiple degrees, and she happens to be a Chicana woman from Southern California, but she has made her way to the island of Halekupua, an imaginary island 3 hours south of Hawaii by boat. And she is the refugee suffering from PTSD. And in this romance novel, she is afraid. She is scared about what she has just gone through, which has been a traumatic experience that she experienced with thousands of other people. They were evacuated from their home after being invaded by a group of mercenaries who didn't want them to live there anymore. So now she's on a peaceful island, and she's really dealing with that in a way that other people aren't necessarily processing. So I've known Casey for over 2 decades now. I originally created her as a secondary character in a different project that I was creating and writing down when I was in middle school. And now, after having written a screenplay where she was a secondary character, I wanted to figure out what her story was. So it really helps that I've known her for so long, but there are things that I had to discover about her and write down specifically for me to be able to continue this story with her. I had to figure out who she was now, and now meaning 2014, which is when the book takes place. I'm also figuring out who she is now in 2017, 3 years after the events of the book start. So there's a lot that I love knowing about her. I love knowing that she is a Chicano woman, because this is actually part of the reason I decided to write this book this year. I wasn't planning to write a book this year. I was inspired by some whitewashing events that happened specifically to Asians and Asian Americans in media this year, which has been happening for over a century. But one of the stories really hit me about Iron Fist, and I wanted to write my book. And I included, how does this fit in this book, Love It or Luau, Casey has multiple love interests, and two of her love interests happen to be men of Asian and Pacific Islander descent. So that is who she is. There's so many other characteristics about her that I pieced through the book, and that she starts to discover about herself that she didn't even know. She thought she knew herself really well, but as she goes through different events, different parts of her come out and show how she has changed from the really happy, really amazingly vocal person that she used to be before the book started to a person dealing with depression and who needs to figure out who she is in this new place, this new island that she has never lived on before. So I want you to answer the questions that I have posed in this video. Who is your book about? Who is your main character? Whom does she interact with? And what does she want? By writing the answers to those questions, you are going to be on a great start to writing your first book. And if you have any questions, please email me at writeyourfirstbookwithmahlena@gmail.com. Again, that is writeyourfirstbookwithmahlena@gmail.com. I would love to talk with you and offer you more advice, including how to find the best way to write out who your character is. I like to start with their name and their age, gender, where they actually live, where they come from, where they want to go. So basically physical characteristics, and then get deeper into the internal characteristics of what type of person they are, what kind of education they have, who their family members are, what their motivation is in this particular story, not just in the world. So yeah, there's lots of things that I'd love to share more with you about. So please email me at writeyourfirstbookwithmahlena@gmail.com, which should be included in this video description. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing what you have written down about who your main character is. Thanks for watching.